I have seen a lot of videos and articles going around the internet right now, absolutely hating on Princess Cruises' newest ship, Sun Princess, calling it the most controversial ship at sea. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me that so many people are hating on this ship. Today, I am breaking down for you the top 9 complaints that people have about cruising on Sun Princess. I have been on 2 Sun Princess cruises and I have one planned for later this year. So I'm going to go through all of these complaints and let you know if they're legit or if there's an easy workaround. I don't know if people are going for drama, if they're going for shock factor, or if they're just trying to be controversial to get more clicks, more likes, and more views. But I do find that while some of these complaints might be legit, a lot of them have super easy workarounds. So today, we're going to talk about the ins and outs of everything so you can see if Sun Princess is a ship that you want to sail on. Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I am Carrie. I am a cruise addict, a travel agent, and your go-to gal for all things cruising tips, tricks, and real talk reviews. If you love cruising, make sure to subscribe to my channel as I drop new videos every week and you don't want to miss out. All right, let's get into the top complaints that I'm seeing online about Sun Princess. Complaint number 1 is that Princess doesn't assign boarding times. So when you show up, there can be a long line and you have to wait, and people don't like waiting in line. Now, I can understand this concern. No one wants to start their vacation waiting in a huge line or queue, depending on what you call it. But there is a really simple, easy workaround for this. The most popular time to board a cruise ship is going to be between 10 and 11 a.m. People like to show up first thing in the morning, board as early as they can so that they can start their vacation, especially because that is considered day 1 of your cruise. So of course, it's going to be super busy and there's going to be longer lines when you show up at that time. And this goes for literally any cruise ship that you're on, not just Sun Princess. Those are just very popular times to board. If you don't want to wait in line, and I totally get it because not everyone either wants to or can wait in line for a period of time, try showing up after noon, 12 p.m. This is typically going to be a lot quicker of a time for you to board as crowds are going to be smaller. So you're going to get through security and get through that check-in process a lot quicker. I will say that even cruise lines who do assign boarding times like Royal Caribbean, I have always had to wait in line, even when I have that assigned time. It's very common, especially at the earlier times, because even when you're assigned a time on the other ships, a lot of people do still try to show up early to board as soon as they can. So this is not uncommon to show up and have to wait to get on board. The best advice that I can give you is to just pack your patience and try to go with the flow as much as possible. They do try to work through the crowd as soon as possible and get everyone boarded as quickly as they can because they really want to make sure that you can start your vacation quickly as well. The second complaint is that the rooms are too narrow when you first walk in. I definitely noticed this when we walked into our balcony cabin on Sun Princess, is that the entranceway into the room is very narrow. And this is because they have the closet on part of it and then the bathroom on the other part. And I do feel like they made each of these a little bit bigger. I would personally rather have a little bit larger bathroom than a larger entranceway when I walk into the cabin room. So it is a little bit narrow. We just had to adjust our luggage or our backpack when we walked in. You can't walk in 2 people side by side, but it really was not a big deal. It's just when you first walk in. Now, if you're in a wheelchair or a scooter, that's going to be a tight fit. So I do highly recommend that you get an ADA room on Sun Princess if you're looking for the wider entrance, the wider door. The doorway is the standard size. It's just the hallway, walkway-ish when you first take a couple steps into your room that's going to feel a little bit narrower. This was not make or break for us. It didn't affect the layout of the room really or the feel of the room for us. And it was only an issue when we were bringing in our luggage, or like if we got Ocean Now delivery and they passed us the tray, we had to kind of walk backwards with it before we could turn around because it's not large enough to even turn around with a tray in your hand. Not that big of a deal, but just something to be aware of. Complaint number 3 is that the International Cafe took a long time to get you your specialty coffee in the morning because there was too large of a line. Okay, I can see how this is a concern for some people, but again, it's a really easy workaround. If you're going to breakfast at the very popular times of day, like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, there's probably going to be a longer line at that specialty coffee place. You have to consider that this is similar to if you're ordering at any specialty coffee place, like a Starbucks or a Biggby. They're making your coffee to order, and there's only usually like 2 of them behind the counter making everyone's coffees. So there is going to be a little bit of a wait. It's not like they're taking a coffee pot, pouring it into a cup, and immediately handing it to you. So you've got some options with this. Option 1 is to go at an off-peak time to get your specialty coffee. This would be like first thing in the morning, or maybe wait until the crowd dies down a little bit and then go get in line. Option 2 is the International Cafe is right outside the eatery. So go pop down at the eatery for breakfast. Just get one of their standard cups of coffee that's free with your cruise fare Enjoy that. Then get your specialty coffee after that if you still want it. Or option 3, and this is one that a lot of people don't think of, is go to the Lido deck, which is the pool deck, and go to the coffee and cones there and get your specialty coffee. Since a lot of people forget that that's there, there's typically not a line and you can get your coffee pretty quickly. Number 4 is that you got Princess Premier, and that comes with unlimited specialty dining, but you can't get into the specialty dining places because they're all too full or they keep canceling your reservation. This is actually a legit concern, and I would be upset if this happened to me on board as well. One of the huge benefits of getting Princess Premier is to get that unlimited specialty dining. So if every time you're scheduling it in the app, it's canceling it right before your reservation, yes, you have every right to be frustrated. That is a very, very frustrating experience. Now, I have only heard that this is a problem for people who are sailing at high peak seasons, like over spring break. People who are sailing outside of those on shoulder season or just even the typical seasons, they're not experiencing this huge influx of people in specialty dining where they can't get in. But I did hear that this was a problem for people who are going over the spring break time period. And this is because Sun Princess is sailing like max capacity. A lot of people are getting that Princess Premier, so they're trying to go to these restaurants. Doesn't make it any less frustrating for you, but this is not a common occurrence on Sun Princess where this is happening all of the time for people who have that package. So do keep that in mind. You do have a few options for getting around this, right? If you're trying to get into the specialty dining restaurants and they're too packed, you do have a couple options. Number 1, if you want to get Princess Premier with the unlimited specialty dining and you're really wanting to get in there and not have any hassles, try to go at off-peak seasons. I know this isn't a possibility for everyone, especially if you sail with kids, because you want to make sure that you can go when they're on spring break, but that would be step 1. 2, if you are going during those popular times and for some reason you can't get in, go talk to guest services. The customer service on Sun Princess is absolutely outstanding. They want to make sure that you have a fantastic time. So let them know what the issue is. Say, hey, I have Princess Premier and I'm not able to get into the specialty dining restaurants because they're full, or every time I make a reservation, it's canceling them right before it's time for us to go in. This is very frustrating. What are my options? And then they're going to let you know. Maybe they can find another specialty dining restaurant for you to get in. Maybe they'll bump you down to Princess Plus and give you some onboard credit. There could be any numerous things that they do for you, but check with them and ask what they're able to do. The third option, and I know this isn't always the best one, right? Because you want to go to specialty dining. It's why you booked it, but it's to just get the Princess Plus package that doesn't include the specialty dining, and then just eat at all of the other venues on board because they're absolutely amazing too. I know specialty dining is great, but if you just want to eat at like Alfredo's or the Irish pub or the main dining room or the buffet, you're going to have a great meal there as well. And you're going to save yourself the hassle of not being able to get a table. Complaint 5 is that it takes too long to get into the main dining room. This can be the case on literally any cruise ship that you go on. So you do have a lot of different dining options on board Sun Princess. If you really want to get in and have a reservation set at every time in the main dining room, I recommend doing the traditional dining. And this is where you can pick to dine at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. and you're going to have the same table and the same wait staff every single night. If you're like, you know what, I don't want to eat at those times. I want flexible dining. I want to be able to show up and just get my table. I totally get it. In that case, you need to think of the main dining room like a typical restaurant where you show up and if they have a table ready, they seat you. If they don't have a table ready, you have to wait until a table opens up. So sometimes you will be waiting for a table to open up depending on when you go, like especially if you go during the most popular times to eat, which are typically between like 5 to 6 or 5 to 6:30 is when you're going to see a lot of people trying to eat in the main dining room. So if you go outside of that, you might not have quite as much of a wait. Another option with the flexible dining is for you to go into the app and literally pick the times that you want to eat there. You want a 6 o'clock dining reservation, you want a 7 o'clock one, and each day you can pick the time that you want to reserve, or you can talk to someone in the main dining room and they'll be able to set those reservations for you. This at least gives you a time and a table so you can show up at that and eat if you want. And if those times don't work for you, you can eat anywhere else on board. But again, having this wait time in the main dining room, this is not something that's unique to Sun Princess. You're going to have this on every cruise ship that you go on, or you're going to have a little bit of the wait time. And I'm talking about the main cruise lines, where if you do flexible dining, depending on the time you go, depending on how large your group is, you can encounter wait times for this as well. So just be prepared, just be aware of it. Complaint number 6 is that the entertainment venues are too small, there's not enough seating in there, and you can't get in when you want to. While I did notice that this was an issue with some of the shows, overall, it was not a problem on either of the times that I sailed on Sun Princess. The biggest venue that I saw the issue with was the Dome, which is the glass enclosed part in the front of the ship. They would do more acrobatic type shows here. and there would be a line that would queue up about an hour before the show started. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not want to be standing in line for over an hour on my vacation just to see a 15, 20, 30-minute show. I ain't got time for that. And then you can't make reservations for these. So I did find that frustrating because that was such a popular show. They honestly should have put it in a different venue that held more people. But for some reason, they really were set on having it in the dome. So that was the only frustration that I saw. We did see a Lionel Richie tribute in the Princess Theater, and we had absolutely no problem getting in here. We showed up, I want to say, within like 5 minutes of the show starting, and we were able to find seats right away. It was pretty full, but there was still plenty of seats for people who showed up last minute. Again, this wasn't an issue. I want you to keep in mind, I was not sailing during spring break though. When you're sailing, when it's maxed out capacity, your experience is going to be a little bit different than people who are sailing at all of the other times throughout the year. We also caught a ton of performers in the piazza when we were just walking through. There was singers with bands, solo singers with a guitar. There was a guy doing an acrobatic thing with a big wheel that he was spinning around in. That was really cool. And we were typically able to get seats with no problem when we were walking by, or if it was full, we would just stand and be able to watch for a while. So that was really nice. Now, I'm not saying that you can walk into any show last minute that you want to see. I'm just saying on the 2 cruises we went on, we didn't have a problem getting seats anywhere except for in that acrobatic show in the dome. And with that, anytime we try to go to a show, if it's full, no matter what cruise ship, we just pivot, and we pick something else. We're not going to let it ruin our vacation. So if there's entertainment that's full that you want to go to, I get that it's frustrating, but just try to pivot and pick something else. There's always tons of activities going on a cruise ship. Complaint number 7 is that the pool deck is very busy and there are no lounge chairs. Now, this may be surprising to some brand new cruisers, but honestly, seasoned cruisers who are complaining about the lounge chairs being taken up on sea days, I'm very surprised by this because this is common no matter what cruise ship you're on. It is not unique to Sun Princess. On every cruise ship I have ever been on, the pool deck gets very busy on sea days. It's the most popular activity for people to do. And because of that, the loungers fill up really fast. Yep, you're going to get Rudy McGee's on board who get up first thing in the morning and then they go try to save like 10 loungers with dirty socks and shoes and towels and all the things. And then they disappear for 2 hours to the buffet or they go back to bed for a while. The majority of people aren't doing that though. So let's say that you sleep in on a sea day and you get a little bit later start and then you have a leisurely breakfast and you come to the pool deck and all the loungers are full. You've got a few options here. Now, I'm not saying that you need to change the way you cruise. You can still sleep in and you can still find a nice place to relax. With Sun Princess, if the main pool deck is full, go up one deck and there are tons of loungers up there that are usually really empty. Yes, you're not going to be right next to the pool, but you can still find a nice spot to lounge out and relax. And then you can just leave your stuff there if you want to hit up the pool and then go right back to your lounge chair. Easy peasy workaround. The 8th complaint that I've been seeing is that Sun Princess is not family friendly. I mean, really, I hope that this is not breaking news to anybody, but Princess Cruises does not advertise and market specifically for families. Yes, they do have family activities as far as they have pools, hot tub on board, and then they do have the kids club, but they don't have the things on board that some of the other cruise lines do. So if you're looking for water slides and a surf simulator, you're looking for laser tag, bumper cars, for that, you want to sail on Royal Caribbean or Carnival, not Princess. And the 9th and final complaint is that it is confusing to get around the ship. I do think that this can be a legit concern, especially in the beginning of the cruise. It can take a little bit to get to know how the cruise ship is laid out because they are laid out differently than other cruise ships. So I was a little bit confused in the beginning, but got the hang of it within like 2 days. And I will tell you, I am directionally challenged. I blame my mom. You can't be using northeast, southwest. It's right or left. But I was able to get on Sun Princess without much of a problem. The biggest confusing thing for people is how to get to the main dining room. Now, when you're trying to go to the main dining room, for some of the decks, you can't walk from the front of the ship all the way to the back of the ship. They have it cut off, I think, due to the kitchen. So you have to go up a couple decks to get across and then either take it down by either the elevator or the stairs. But after going to that dining room 1 or 2 times, we definitely got the hang of it and were able to get around with no problem. One of the things that I think Sun Princess did a great job on is they have signs everywhere telling you how to get around. So when you turn to go down a hallway, there's a sign right in front of you that tells you which way to go based on what you're looking for. At the elevator, they have a list of things telling you what deck is the pool deck, which one has different food options, things like that. So I think they made it pretty easy to get around. The most confusing thing is just learning how to get to the dining room, because not all decks take you all the way across the ship. Some of them you have to go up, cut across, and then go down. Those are the top 9 complaints that I have heard about Sun Princess. I'm sure there's more, but I just wanted to cover those top things. Some key things you need to know before you cruise on any ship is that you absolutely need to pack your patience, because unexpected things pop up when you cruise or just when you travel in general. So it's really important to pack your patience and be able to pivot if anything happens where you need to kind of change up plans last minute or change up what you were doing. And that's really important, especially when you travel during the busiest times of the year. The more patience you can have and the more flexible you can be with pivoting with things like, okay, I can't go to this restaurant, I'm going to try out this one. I can't go to this entertainment venue because it's full, so I'm going to go here instead. The more flexible you can be, the better the vacation you're going to have, because you're not going to let those small things really get in the way of you having a great time. But if these issues are too much for you, I get it. It's not for everybody. Some of these issues can make or break your vacation, right? Especially if you were really looking forward to something and it didn't happen. If you don't like lines, if you don't like big crowds, if you don't like having all the things available to you at all the times when you really want to go, that's okay. I'm not telling you that it's wrong. Just pivot and maybe try a different type of vacation. Sun Princess is a larger cruise ship in their fleet. Maybe try a smaller cruise ship with Princess, or try a different cruise line, or even try a different all-inclusive resort or something. It's okay to try things and not like it. Just try something else until you find the type of vacation that you love doing. I hope this video helps you understand more about Sun Princess and more about Princess Cruises in general. And just know that yes, some things pop up. There's going to be speed bumps along the way, but there's always ways that you can pivot to keep on having a great vacation. Let me know in the comments what questions you have about Sun Princess. I hope this helps. I'll catch you on the next cruise.